Hey guys, it's Dave from New Software here. In our last video, we got the forms and objects sorted. The thing that I was gonna do after that is do some custom code, mainly for our borrow and return screens. I've actually gone ahead and done it already, just because I had to get familiar with the differences between the version that I'm used to and this new one. So first of all, let's open up the booking screen again. Okay, so we got this booking here. What we'll do, we'll have a look at the code that I've written, and I'll go through why I've pretty much done it like that. So if we go to the form, edit code, and then after save, that's the only custom code I'm running. You're gonna have to grab it out of here. It's always a bit better just to grab that and whack it in Notepad++, so I can see some. Not that that helps for this, but with a lot of PHP, it's so much easier seeing it in here. Okay, so the first query I run, let's just like that. Okay, first query I run each time that the booking is saved is I simply just set the date of the booking to just today, just for this booking, where the record ID is for this one and the date is blank. So that's only ever going to do it once, and I only ever want it to happen when the record first saves. A few things to note. To run a query in nuBuilder, it's very easy. All you do is use nu run query. It's as if you've gone in PHP MyAdmin and gone, it's as if you just run a query. It's nothing crazy. Record ID. This is like in nuBuilder when we use hash ID hash in some places, and it will get the ID of the whole screen. This is the same thing. $record ID in custom PHP code should always get you the ID of the form. Should do, unless there's something I'm missing. I haven't really read up on the variables. I'm just going off the top of my head from what I've remembered from a few months ago. So yeah, that's that query in a nutshell. The second one does the exact same thing, but instead of updating today, it updates a month from now. The way I do that is using the date add function. So I add to current date, just interval of 1 month ahead. Same thing where it's blank. Once I set it to a month ahead, I don't want to touch it again. And last thing is, yeah, that's right. Okay, so basically I want to go to the book inventory table, and I want to set to that certain book has been booked or borrowed. It's a bit easy to say, isn't it? So if we go to this one, this is 402. Let's have a look at it. I should actually have a book title somewhere in here. We could change that later, but let's try to find that book. Where is it? Wait, which book was it? I think it was. Here we go. So which one did I find? 4002. Wow. What am I looking for? This is why you add the book number. Alright, there we go. So it's actually this one. So basically, I want it to, when they click borrow, I want it to go through, and I want it to mark this that that's out of the library. It's booked. One thing I could do is maybe have a display here, but I can do that later. That's alright. So I did get that happening. So it's set to returned here, so it means that I can actually borrow it again. So if I close this, and let's add a completely new borrow record. So I'll use Carl. Book. Let's use our 402 one. We know it's alright. Okay, so now what I've done. So now what it's going to do is it's going to update the two dates for us automatically behind the scenes, and it's also going to go to this certain record and it's going to mark it as booked. So if I go save here, okay, so it's not returned, we've just borrowed it. Now if I actually go to the book inventory tab, sorry, not tab, table, if we find 4002, let's find it, where are you? Here. Okay, so see how it's marked as booked? That's because of our awesome query. So sorry, that's basically all the booking screen needed to do for, that I could think of just quickly. Yeah, I think that's generally all we want it to do. If we close all these down, let's open up the return screen and see what I've done here. So once again, I've put quite a few through. Okay, so we got these. I think I explained the objects before. Yeah, I must have. So I'll just show you the code. So if we go to after save code for here, I'll just put this into Notepad++ again. Okay, so so the first thing I want to do is basically I want to check through each one of these rows. I might open one up with multiple just so it makes a bit more sense. So for this one, for instance, basically when I hit save, I want to go through each of these rows, and if they did hit returned yes, I want to go to our same book inventory thing that tells us whether it's out or in, and I want to mark it to say it's now been returned, booked is 0. So because this has already been done, I did this earlier, that 4002 one, I actually returned it, and that's why it was 0. That's why I could borrow it again. So that's happening right here. So see how it's going, update book inventory, set BOI booked equals 0, where it's the right row. Now, I'll just explain this quick as well. Basically, I'm using $_post. I think there's a way to use these nuBuilder hash variables. We call them hash variables because nuBuilder goes through and replaces them with fields it can find relative with that name, but I'm not really used to them, and I think it's a lot more confusing for people who actually use PHP or have a good understanding of PHP. It's even, doesn't make it's just harder to deal with. So I'm using $_post here, and basically if we actually look in the source of our return screen, right, if we open this up, view source, now I know because from experience, but in each for each subform on a screen, you're going to get a variable that goes rows and then name of subform. So my subform is called book subform. So I've got all these cool properties of it that I can actually access in post. So there's rows, book subform, which is just how many rows is in the subform. It says 3. There's 3 right there. Columns, table, stuff specific to that subform. So basically I'm grabbing how many rows there are, 3. So this is basically going to loop through 3 times, and 1 for each row. So right here I'm going if this is another thing I should say. This is my row number counter. Basically the way rows work in nuBuilder. Let's actually go to this subform. Should be fairly small. Hopefully. Where are you? Here we go. Okay, so we got the subform right here. This is very hard to just figure out what's going on with, but first thing to notice, let's try and just find something that makes sense. Okay, so the first row starts as here it is. Here's the first field. So it goes subform name 0000, 4 digits, and then field name, and it will do that for every field in the subform. So this first one is the primary key of the subform. This is actually hidden. Here we go, type hidden. That nuBuilder automatically adds for the primary key, so I didn't actually add that object. It's probably, yeah, it's in the hidden so we can actually access it. And the first one I did add was this lookup, which let's try and find that. So yeah, here it is, Bob book inventory ID. That's my book lookup to the inventory thingo. Okay, so I can access this ID right here by getting subform name 0000 Bob book inventory ID. So that's what I'm doing right here. So I'm going subform name 0000 and Bob book inventory ID. Now when this would loop through for the second row, obviously I is going to change to 1, and then this is going to go 0001 Bob book inventory ID, etc. So this is going to update it for each one. The second thing I'm kind of doing in here is I'm counting how many are actually returned. So I'm doing that right here. Basically, if the total rows, in fact, let's change that. I don't really like these hash variables myself. So if the total rows is equal to all that's returned, then I want to set the whole booking to say it's complete and done. That's what I'm doing right here, and I'm updating it to 0 where it's not. I shouldn't really do that, but I don't know, I should put it there just in case. Like, it should always be 0 when it's not like that, so there's no need for me to update that, but I put that there for no reason. Who cares? So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing here. So let's open one up, one that isn't done. Okay, so because this is going to be all the rows and I'm returning it, if I save it through, it's going to set this header one to yes as well, and it's going to actually go to what's that, 20,002, and let it be borrowed again. So if I go here into a new booking, yeah, I can see it right here. So yeah, that's the custom code I've added. I'll leave that there for this video. I'm actually not sure what to do next. Got a few reports that could maybe be done. I don't know, I'll listed out a few, but now I think about it, there's probably not anything that handy that will be helpful. I might make some videos later, maybe something different using different data to do reports that's a bit cooler than this, but I thought this would be just a good example to show using all these screens that have a cool relationship between each other. So yeah, I hope you guys can take something from me drabbling on about nuBuilder. Hopefully I haven't seemed too like I've don't have a clue at all, but yeah, hopefully this helps. So look forward to videos in the future, or don't if if you're not keen. Anyway, see yous.